Organizations Regulatory Authority, that's PBORA. And of course, we're going to be discussing the oversight of NGOs. Welcome to TV47.
Thank you.
Welcome to the studio, sir. And you know, Dr. Laxmana, on the 9th of December 2025, the government officially rebranded the Public Benefit Organizations Regulatory Authority. Yes. Okay. Formerly the NGOs Coordination Board. Now, this is because it was a move aimed to strengthening oversight. So maybe we can start off by transparency, accountability, and oversight. How exactly these words correlate? Do they correlate? And in the work of NGOs, what exactly is the importance of just being as transparent as possible?
First of all, thank you very much for having me tonight. It's my pleasure and being here. As you've truly pointed out, the Public Benefit Organization Regulatory Authority transitioned from the non-governmental organizations.
Yes.
This is after the repeal of the NGOs Act of 1990. And the act that gave birth to the authority was ascended by the president in 2013.
Okay.
But it took a while before the act was implemented because we had an impasse. When the act was ascended in 2013, it was realized that there were sections of the act that were not consistent with the Constitution. And in an attempt to amend, the NGO sector and the civil societies went to court and argued that it would be proper, first of all, to implement the law before amending. And so there was a ruling to the effect that that should be so. But the government of the day decided not to implement as it were until 2024. When actually the president, His Excellency, the President Samuel Ruto, during a UN Civil Society Summit, gave a direction that this act should be implemented as it is.
Okay. And
so that's why the authority came into being. Now, when we transition, with that operationalization, we are transiting because this is the body that's supposed to regulate the NGO. The NGO sector, as the name is, had a mandate to do very many things. And the NGO sector is diverse.
Absolutely.
We've got NGOs in the education sector. We've got NGOs in the health sector.
In all sectors.
Yeah, in all sectors, conservation. And they contribute to the economy and of the country. So it's important. The act comes with so that there's transparency within the sector, so that donor funds can be accounted for. You see, within government, we have the Office of the Auditor General. All the funds that goes to development can be accounted for. But for the NGOs, where are they? And that's why within the authority, all BPOs now are supposed to do their reporting, their audited accounts annually. Yeah, for us to be able to ascertain how much they contribute. And also, by NGOs becoming compliant, we get to know where they operate.
Yes.
We got to know the target beneficiaries. Across the country, and then it will help us to avoid duplication, which has been witnessed within the sector for a very long time.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So of course there has been a rebrand. We all know that. There's been a big change in the sense a lot of it is now digital.
Yeah.
Of course, this is something that is in efforts to try and improve service delivery and also engagement when it comes to its stakeholders. So how exactly is this going to help Kenyans? What exactly is the purpose of this? In the sense, if someone right here is watching and doesn't really understand of what exactly the benefit will be to the average Kenyan, how exactly will this benefit the average Kenyan?
Yeah, this gives the opportunity to the average Kenyan to understand all the NGOs that operate in different parts of our country.
Okay.
And then also it gives us as an authority the opportunity to know how NGOs are being governed.
Right.
The new act actually spells out how there are different management aspect of NGOs. And we scrutinize now how their constitutions.
Okay.
Remember, when we register them, they are the ones who bring us their constitution. Right now, unlike before, where you could have a founder who is also the CEO and also a board member. Right now, there should be a very clear distinction between the management and the board of an NGO. And we are there to supervise that, to make sure that the board and the management are different.
Okay.
Secondly, a departure from the past is where the coordination board could be able to summon NGOs to just come and explain how they do things, and then conduct a quasi-judicial gathering and hearing or something like that, and try to solve. Sometimes they could be punitive in terms of deregistering organization anyhow. The authority now is an enabler, and when it comes to solving a dispute between members of the public and an NGO, or between an NGO and the authority, we have a tribunal.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a BBO tribunal that is set by the judiciary.
Okay.
That brings about the separation of powers, you know.
That's great.
So, and right now we have more accountability.
Yes.
And we collaborate together with the sector more, where we no longer have adversarial relationship, where we partner more and collaborate more.
Okay.
Because we are serving Kenyans.
Absolutely.
All of us are serving Kenyans in different capacities, and the opportunity to serve is enough for all of us.
All right, great. Thank you very much for that. You mentioned accountability, and I feel like that's something that is very important, especially in such a sector.
Yes.
And the fact that the authority has now come into play, how exactly does it verify that donor funds are actually going to the right place and they are going to be there for the intended purposes, that they will be used for these specific intended purposes?
Two things. Number one is that we now demand their audited accounts, and very soon we are going to have an MOU with ISPAC, so that we have a standardized reporting about all the funds they have. Secondly, there is a conversation with the donor community at the moment, where the donors will be requiring, we will be imploring upon the donors that before they disperse funds to NGOs, they should verify whether they are registered and also whether they are compliant. You know, and also we are doing field visits. We do a lot of now surveillance. We've got 5 regional offices, and we intend to open more offices so that we make sure that we are able to verify and ascertain if an NGO actually carries out the mandate that we register them for.
Absolutely.
There are organizations that, and if we find out that they are not doing what they were registered for, then we take the necessary course of action, including imposing sanctions or deregistering them, but after the due process is followed.
Okay, great. You know, when we talk about monitoring and enforcement, right?
Yes.
Is the authority capable to be able to monitor the thousands, hundreds of thousands of NGOs that are being registered daily? Do we have the capacity to be able to monitor all of these in such a large scale?
Yes, we are heading there because, you know, with the digitization program that we are rolling out, we can be able to, at the click of a button, we can be able to ascertain and know. Absolutely. Yeah, if a particular NGO made their returns or not. Also, we also have an anonymous reporting where members of the public write to us emails, they report to us that such and such an NGO, such and such an entity purports to be an NGO where, and they are not, then we send our enforcement officers to ensure that that one is done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarity. When we talk about money laundering, when we talk about fraud, how exactly are you able to detect this? Do we have specific mechanisms that are in place? Do we have specific tools? You've mentioned a few already, but maybe you can expound on that a bit more, because this is something that our country has been grappling with for quite some time. And to be able to get the trust of the common Mwananchi, to be able to get trust of stakeholders in play, it's important that transparency is there and you're able to enforce all these rules so that money laundering doesn't continue to happen in the scale that it has been happening the past few years.
Yeah, thank you for that. The agency actually, the authority rather, is one of the agencies that is tasked with monitoring illicit financial flows within the country. And then we are able to we are tasked with identifying vulnerable PBOs based on the FATF definition of non-profit organizations.
Okay.
And recently we developed a monitoring framework to monitor BBOs that engage in terrorism financing activities.
Absolutely.
And then, but our focus should be targeted. Yeah, within the recommendations of FATF. We don't do a blanket condemnation that all BBOs are engaged in terrorism financing.
Yeah.
So we carry out risk-based approach.
Okay.
Yeah, risk-based approach, so that we do enhance the monitoring for high-risk BPOs, those ones that operate in areas that we think that we assess that it's vulnerable to terrorism financing. But also, once again, is to ensure that we really enforce the mandatory submission of annual reports, audited financial statements. And then, together with the banks, we can be able to regulate and say, this particular NGO received a huge amount of money.
Right.
And we cannot ascertain what they do because the banks are the reporting entities as we monitor the activities and what they do. Yes.
All right. Okay. How exactly is the authority going to be safeguarding its independence from political or donor influence, for example? This is something that the authority is supposed to be transparent, is supposed to be one that really looks after the entire system in a very, very clean way, right? Yeah. So how exactly are you going to ensure that you are independent of pressure, of influence from political parties, from political figures, and also donors?
Thank you very much. As it is, we are independent. Okay. We are not within, we are an autonomous agency.
Yes.
It's a state corporation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we draw our money directly from the exchequer. Yeah, it does not come through the ministry. So we are independent.
Okay.
Yeah, we register the PBOs independently. We are the ones who are the custodians of the register of all the PBOs, and we carry our activities independently without any undue influence, any undue pressure from any quarters.
Okay.
So I can give that assurance to the NGO sector, and most of them have witnessed what we've done for the last 1 year when we were developing our regulations.
Yes.
And we did it together when we were developing the monitoring framework of the illicit flows. We did also together without any undue interference.
All right. Now, of course, as we head to the election period, it is a very crucial period for our country. What exactly is the position of NGOs on political campaigns, for example? Is that something that is going to be crucial in the elections, especially when it comes to the funds that are donated, that are used to fund all these massive campaigns that are taking part?
Yeah, my position and the position of the authority is that all the funds that PBOs receive should go to the intended purpose.
Okay.
That number one they identified for, that they outlined that they are going to do to carry out those activities, because the Act stipulates clearly that there should be identifiable beneficiaries, you know,
Yes.
in a specific place, you know. So BBOs operate in specific areas, doing specific jobs, and they are different. And also, some of the donors have stringent guidelines on how the funds dispersed are accounted for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, of course, the vision for the next 3 to 5 years. What plans are there to be able to strengthen NGO oversight in the next 3 to 5 years? Do we have a long-term vision for the authority?
Yes. Yes, we are looking forward for that. We are going to have 100% compliance.
Okay.
That we'll have most NGOs being compliant and being able to be transparent and accountable.
Yes.
We are looking for that the contribution to the different sector will be able to increase. BBOs dealing with housing, for example, those ones in conservation, in agriculture, in health, we should be able. We've been seeing increased trajectory of their contribution to the society, and we see that there is a remarkable change they make in the community. So, and we are also looking forward that there will be close collaboration between the authority and the BBOs, the national ones and the NGOs, the international ones, because we have some that have a hub in Kenya. Right. Regional, the Kenya is their regional hub. Those NGOs that operate in countries like Somalia, DRC and other areas. And also we will also look forward that we will be fully digital in how we operate so that we increase our efficiency. Yes. Yeah, and service delivery to Kenyans.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, when it comes to being digitized, you know, in the future, maybe this could be something that is already in the works or it's already there. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But in future, do you think there will be a time where a citizen would be able to have access to the entire database of all the NGOs that are currently existing, of their financials, of how long they've been running for, their compliance status, all this information? Is it going to be accessible to Kenyans?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, we have already started, and currently if you want to apply for registration, you simply go online. And you go to your e-citizen, you upload the necessary forms, you upload the constitution, you pay digitally, and we will create a NGO hub, an NGO portal, where if you want to know, as you rightly put it, if an NGO is registered, if an NGO is compliant, where does it operate, what do they do? Absolutely, it's leadership as well. It's leadership as well. Yes, we are going to create and we are going to be there.
Okay. Yeah. Also, how exactly can a citizen verify if an NGO is compliant and in good standing? Is there a specific way to know? Maybe you can just share some tips on how exactly somebody can know that this is a compliant NGO, and how do they find out information about that?
Yeah. Currently, as we are heading there, currently you can write to us an email, even in our social media handles. You can also go to any of our regional offices. Perfect. We have our office in Kisumu, Eldoret, Nakuru, here in Nairobi, our headquarters, and in Garissa, and also in Mombasa. Okay. So you can be able to send us an email, and we'll be able to respond it accordingly. And we also receive such information, inquiries, and we answer appropriately.
All right. And lastly, as we wrap up, maybe you can tell us about the last year. You've mentioned that you've made great strides in improving the authority and making sure that it's transparent and accountable, but has public confidence also improved?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When we developed our regulations and we went across the country, when we collaborated with the entire sector. I'm glad that the exercise ran smoothly without any hitches, and at the moment the regulations are in the office of the AG. It should be coming out anytime, because we are looking forward that by 16th of May this year, all we will have transitioned. We will not be talking about of NGOs. We will be talking about public benefits organizations. We'll be having the new Federation of PBOs, which used to be the NGO Council. Yeah. There's been an increased trust between ourselves and the NGOs. There's been increased collaboration, and then so we've been working together. Yeah, basically, and there's been increased service delivery, and we are looking forward even to doing more to be more efficient. The Act requires us to now register any entity that comes to look for a registration within 60 days. Okay. It used from 90. It used to be 90 days, but now it's 60 days.
Great.
In a short time, you have your registration.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much for giving us all these insights. And now we are much more, I guess, clear when it comes to NGOs, and of course, especially the oversight of NGOs, which has been quite an interesting debate that we've been seeing online, offline, you know, in rooms that I think these kind of conversations need to be had in the media as well. So we're glad that you were here to be able to clarify a few things. That is Dr. Laxmana Kiptoo. Asante sana for being in studio with us. CEO, Public Benefit Organizations Regulatory Authority, PBORA. All right, moving on. It's now time to